an expected recovery is an issue everywhere, not just in the United States. And it is something that is bothering India as well. Fitch, by the way, has cut its forecast of how much the Indian economy will contract, or should I say have increased the extent by which it thinks the Indian economy will contract to 10%. That means we will go minus 10.5% this year, according to Fitch. This at a time when COVID cases are rising. But a news coming in earlier this evening, the central government, the health ministry to be precise, has issued a fresh set of SOPs, or standard operating procedures, guidelines for schools to reopen. This was announced as part of Unlock 4.0 that schools could reopen from the 21st of September. Some states, Delhi, Andhra Pradesh, are getting prepared to put this in place. And it's only for students from 9th to 12th standard. It's voluntary, and they can go in if they want guidance from their teachers. That's what the official language of the circular says. So the SOPs are fairly standard. You have masks, you have staggered entry and exit. Some things like you can't share notebooks and water bottles and rulers and pencils, which will make school going a very different kind of experience. But my question is quite different. Is it the right time to start reopening schools? We know the experience in the United States when schools were reopened, and it led to an infection in about 97,000 students. We have infections rising, but at the same time, we want to open up the economy and get back to normal. Let me get a perspective now from Meeta Sengupta, who's an education strategist. Ms. Sengupta, thank you for joining us on the show. Just your take on these baby steps that we're taking, even as our numbers keep rising. And that really is the prime concern, isn't it?
Absolutely. I honestly do not understand why we seem to be in a rush to reopen schools, though I do understand the concerns of budget private schools, etc., who find that they will be unable to survive if parents do not pay fees, etc., because they do not have proof of class or proof of lessons. But that apart, that issue apart, as a parent, I do not know of many parents who will be brave enough to send their children into the front line of the COVID crisis. Really, this is as much a war, a biological war in that sense, that has been unleashed by nature upon us. And it's a very difficult decision for any parent to say, I will put my child at risk. So the system doesn't actually need to begin to think. It is time, of course, the system must think of what will be the way forward. But thankfully, they are not saying now. They are saying when we go forward, then these are the first basic steps. And my take from this issue being set out is, let's start this national discussion on when is the right time to reopen schools. Are these the right guidelines? Is there a problem?
But Ms. Sengupta, schools can reopen from the 21st of September. Andhra Pradesh and Delhi are already considering it, have said they will. Some states are mulling it, so this is around the corner. The question is now, part one, you talked about school fees. Well, most schools have taken the school fees and are teaching online. So I don't think the argument really is about their commercial stability, etc. It's about the age bracket of the students, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So these are students in higher classes which would need more guidance from teachers, would need more hands-on learning. Perhaps the online education is not enough. That seems to be the thinking. So tell me, from that perspective, is it truly crucial for students to be in school, in classroom, to meet their teachers for guideline that they can't do with social distancing before we have some clarity on a vaccine, etc.?
To be honest, I think with excellent teaching and with teachers getting support for online learning, and if we are able to, and the second one is a bigger if we are able to enable device and connectivity for the lesser privileged, then I think we should, and with some adjustments in the requirements for practicals in these years, the 10th and 12th board exams, and adjustments in curriculum have already been mooted. That's already a discussion in place. I think for this crisis year, declaring it a crisis, a health crisis, we can clearly manage without going to schools. Having said that, I think the model that has been proposed is a very, very cautious model. And it is a model that has been practiced in schools for the month before board exams, where children go in to use the Indian phrase for it, to go in to clarify their doubts. And you normally see that in and that time very few children actually go into school. So I think they're predicating attendance based on that model, where only 2, 5, 10 children come in. Again, some of the guidelines say 30 to 40% of the schools will come in. And at one level, the guidelines are quite impractical, I will say. For example, there is a guideline that says that your hands should be washed for 40 to 60 seconds for every class.
Yes.
I mean, that can you imagine
Yeah.
that first? I mean, you've seen children at the tap.
Yeah,
Okay,
50%. 50% of
50% of the classroom. Just say 60
yeah.
seconds per hand wash, a class of 40, 20 of them attending. Suppose 50% of them attend. 20 minutes in hand washing, plus the going there and coming back in a 40-minute class. How is that just going to happen? How is it going to work out practically? You spend
Right.
all the time
Right.
hand
It's
washing, literally. So
so we'll
practically, that's not the way it's going to play out.
exactly. No, so it says 50% of the school, it says 50% of the school employees, teaching staff, etc. It is not determined how
30 to
many
40%
students,
of
but that's
students.
what we'll have to see. Do too many students want to come in? Do too many students want to come in? Do parents want to send their schools? We'll have to take baby steps on this one. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much, Ms. Sengupta, for joining us